Morning, Chief Zibolski here. I wanted to provide everyone an update as to what we've accomplished as we complete the first 90 days in office. It's been a really exciting time for me, and I think the department and our community as well, as we've really forged forward and made some very positive progress towards our public safety goals. In essence, it really followed the whole 90-day plan to a Q and have completed nearly all of the goals that were set forth during the initial interview process. One of those being sitting down and meeting with the department members. So I've completed about a third of the department members, to include all of our supervisors and command staff, some of the civilian personnel, and I'm working through line staff now. They provided a number of really good insights, perspectives, ideas for efficiencies that we'll be able to work on collectively together. So that's been accomplished. We've got a number of teams, volunteers from the department who have worked on a number of teams that are accomplishing a lot of the goals. Right out of the gate, we initiated our body-worn camera team. That group of folks vetted a whole bunch of different IT possibilities, and we successfully put out a request for proposal. We are on our timeline to have body-worn cameras rolled out for our patrol officers by mid to late May of this year. Excellent work by that group. We had another group of volunteers to take on a really important task, establishing a new vision, mission, and values for our department. They completed their work just at the end of the year. We're excited that in the very near future, week or so, we'll be rolling out a public announcement on what our new vision, mission, and values are for the department. It's a really great, I think, perspective both internally and externally about how the department conducts its business, what our goals and expectations are, how we hold ourselves accountable to each other and to the public. And I think you'll enjoy that when that rolls out. There's a lot of good pieces that I think will continue to broaden our community partnerships. We've also got folks working on reorganization of the department. I've examined the entire structure. I've identified some gaps, some efficiencies, some things that I'm going to suggest for changes, both in roles and responsibilities, but in structure, to again provide a better work environment for our personnel and also provide better service to the community. We are working on a new staffing schedule that also provides better work-life balance for our officers and also puts the most officers on the street when we need the most officers on the street. So again, using data to review our calls and our cases, reported crimes, to establish when we truly are the busiest and utilize that to staff appropriately. That schedule not only increases our capacity and our ability to get things done, but it provides a better schedule for the officers, as well as a common training day. Under our current scheme, we're not necessarily able to train on a regular basis, and it takes a significant amount of time for a training session to route through all of the department members. And in today's dynamic world, we really need to be able to train quickly. We need to be able to address critical issues quickly and keep our officers updated as to current legal updates, technologies, best practices. In this new schedule scheme, we'll be able to do that, and we'll be able to train on a regular basis, as well as do additional community engagement meetings, gatherings, and things of that nature. So we're looking forward to rolling that schedule out in the next 60 days. In addition to that, I have met with all of our department heads, school superintendent, some community service providers, all of our law enforcement agency heads, prosecutors, and really started to establish relationships with all of those folks. Attended the first Chiefs and Sheriffs Association, started to meet my peers across the state. So that's been accomplished. We had our first community virtual meeting about 2 weeks ago. So while we're kind of stymied by COVID and the ability to have face-to-face communications, which is absolutely preferred and the best method for us to grow those relationships, working collectively with some of our community service organizations and concerned organizations in town, we've been able to put together with their assistance a virtual meeting. That went very well. We were able to start to have a discussion and build relationships, and we're planning for additional meetings going forward. Again, with the goal of building the relationship and also helping to educate the community in terms of why the police do or do not do certain things, traffic stops, use of force, and really help close the gap of knowledge so that we can work more collectively together. So I'm excited about that. From a broader perspective, we're working on proposing a change to North Dakota Century Code, working with our elected representatives In terms of addressing a gap that we, not only in Fargo but law enforcement statewide, has identified in our ability to hold certain people accountable for the bad acts that they're committing to members of our community. So several sessions ago, the legislature, in a very well-intentioned act, created a Good Samaritan type of situation for folks who were addicts, who were sharing drugs, and in the event of that may have caused someone to overdose. Those are great harm reduction, Good Samaritan acts that were done on the part of the legislature, but it did create a little bit of a gap for those who are of a criminal mindset. We have folks in our community, a small amount of them, who are just pure drug traffickers. They're criminals. They're trafficking narcotics to people in our community, and in some instances they are causing their deaths. Under the current Century Code language, there isn't an enhanced penalty for those persons. So we're working with our collective partners and legislators to address that gap while preserving the Good Samaritan intent of the current language. So we're at this point really working quickly on that as the legislative session begins, but we're very confident that we've got some good support for that. We can maintain the original intent, but also be able to hold some of these people accountable. Again, that's going to be a positive public safety effect for our community. It's been an exciting first 90 days here in Fargo. I'm excited to have moved into the community and become an active participant. I've enjoyed meeting all of our community members, department heads, business association members across the board. It's been a very welcoming community, and I'm extremely excited about the future prospects for success and the accomplishments that we can do in partnership, both in terms of making the department more transparent and efficient, but also increasing community safety and prosperity here in Fargo.